you. Hi, Jeff. You're back in town, huh? Happy New Year, all. Well, when I was looking at all the crowd today, as I was walking in, wow, there are a lot of new people. Congratulations. Hope you're having a great time. You having a great time? Yeah. Jason mentioned to you, I like to make things simple because that's the only way that I understand the science. I have no idea when the scientists, the 75 scientists we have in Nu Skin, when they talk about science, I tend to get a little bit perplexed and confused. They use big words that I don't understand. Anyway, hi, I'm Joe, and so good to see all of you, and thank you for coming. It's been a crazy year, right? And hopefully this year, 2022, we're going to do greater things. I think in about, yep. In about 3 weeks, I think, as a public company, as you know, in Nu Skin, we have to do what we call our quarterly meeting with Wall Street, and the earnings will be, officially announced and so on and so forth. But it's really great when looking back at the year. I think Ryan Napierski and Mark Lawrence, all the executive officers meeting with the Wall Street, they seem to be walking around with a smile on their face. So that's good. That means they're not too worried about the earnings call. So that's wonderful. But I think this year, 2022, is going to be even better because of all of you. I think it's going to be great. So I'm here just to talk about the products. And sometimes I forget, why do you guys really want to know so much about the science? Because, oh man, it bores me sometimes. Yes. It certainly bores my wife because, sometimes when I started Pharmanex almost more than 20 years ago. Some of you may know this story. Back in '95 in Thousand Oaks in California, and all of us, myself and other co-founders, we came from the pharmaceutical industry, the drug industry, the legal drug industry, not the illegal drug industry. Just to make sure you understand where I'm coming from. No tunnel work here. So, okay. So anyway, we obviously being trained in the pharmaceutical industry and how we discover and develop drugs is very much based on a scientific process or an approach that is based very much on evidence. So when we started Pharmanex, we brought that kind of thinking and mindset into starting Pharmanex, but instead of doing drugs, obviously, we, I should never say doing drugs, but anyway, developing drugs, we decided to focus on natural nutritional supplements. And one of the major reasons why we focus on these types of ingredients, the natural ingredients, is because if you don't know this, it's quite a well-kept secret. More than 70% of the pharmaceutical drugs that are on the market today started life as a natural ingredient. And the only reason why they didn't want to use a natural ingredient as a final product is because they can't protect it with a patent. So we tend to invariably, I'm trained as a biologist, so when we discover something exciting, a natural ingredient, we tend to throw it over the fence to our chemical colleagues, the chemists, and they start to modify the chemical molecule so that they can come out with a patentable product. That's the whole reason. It's an economic reason that drove most pharmaceutical companies to focus on what we now call synthetic molecules. And invariably, time and time again, in my experience in that industry, is the fact that time and time again, the final drug product tends to have more side effects than the original natural ingredient. So the more I thought about it, the more together with some of my other friends sharing the same kind of thinking, we decided that if the big drug industry is not interested in natural ingredients, why don't we start a company focusing on those ingredients? So it's a very simple proposition, except that now when we look at the supplement industry, particularly at that time back in '95, we really We were that close in not starting Pharmanex because the whole industry is actually selling snake oil. There was no scientific evidence and so on. And all they say is get a leaf, grind it up, make it into a powder, put it into a capsule, put a nice looking label on it and sell it and claim anything you like. So when we look at that, rather than looking at it half empty, we say, why don't we look at it half full? If we can start a company that's really based on real science and real benefits, perhaps that actually would be more meaningful to a consumer, and it will actually make a difference. That's the real genesis of Pharmanex. It's really not about say what you would say, because that's really, talk is cheap. Anybody talks. To do what you say takes an investment and takes a really commitment to do that well. And that's what Pharmanex is all about. And that story, in 1998, we were in close to 28,000 stores around the country, Walgreens, Walmarts, CVS and so on. And we got rather well known. And then a company came like Nu Skin. And initially, when they visited with us in California, in Thousand Oaks, great weather, we have no idea where Nu Skin was located. They sort of say, we are from Utah. We quickly had to take out our map to find out where Utah was, and let alone where Provo was. Anyway, the more they talked to us, the more we had discussions. Initially, it was about licensing a particular supplement that we had developed called colistin. Some of our folks, leaders here might have heard of it. That was the initial discussion. But the more we talked, the more they became interested. And finally, one thing led to another. And they decided that instead of just licensing one particular product, why don't we just acquire you? Yeah. So say, wait a minute. So this is what Nu Skin is going to acquire Pharmanex? So frankly, at that time, and some of you may be new sitting here, it's the fact that I really had no idea what network marketing is and direct selling, especially when a company that can't spell new tried to explain what that concept is all about and approach. It took a lot of thinking and said, okay, yeah. But finally, I think we had 2 brain cells left that we finally understood what it was saying. And being able, 600,000 leaders at that time, obviously now we have way more than that, but even then it was a big number. We thought it was a good marriage. And that's how I personally sort of came into Pharmanex. And it's been a great ride, because the promise, the commitment that Nu Skin said was all the science that you do, all the sort of scientific approach you take to developing the supplements can equally be applied or is equally applicable to the skincare products. So now we use that. Both the same identical scientific process, how we develop our skincare products and our supplements. It's very similar. So, so I thought it's great coming here and sort of live in Utah. It was great. Maybe after a year or two, there'll be a lot of fun climbing those mountains and whatever. And now I'm here for more than 20 years, I did not read the fine print. At the bottom of the agreement, it sort of say, Joe, you're now an indentured servant for life. So here I am. But seriously, I think it's been a great one. The real serious reason why I'm still here is because Nu Skin, when it makes a commitment, and that commitment to me personally or to the company Pharmanex, is the fact that we will invest in science, and we will invest in all the clinical studies that we do with each of our products, and continue to grow it, and they've kept that commitment. And I think the commitment is broad. It's broader than that. It's a commitment to all of you as well. You know, and I see that every day in Nu Skin, is the fact that any commitment that they make, whether it's on the business side, the product side, or whatever, it's a firm commitment, and you know, we tend to keep it. And in fact, I was told, ever since the foundation of this company, or the founding of this company, there was not a single check that has ever bounced in this company. So here we are, 2022. What are we going to do? You know, are we getting long in the tooth? Are we been there, done that? We are really an old company that has no opportunity left. There are lots of ground floor opportunities out there, and so on and so forth. Let me perhaps at least give you an idea of where we're coming from, because everything at the end of the day have to converge in some products, and tell you a little bit about this story, how we are now the leading wellness and beauty company, led by all of you, powered by all of you. Okay. So here's the 1998 acquisition of Pharmanex. If you look at the fourth bullet, Nu Skin acquired Pharmanex for about $135 million. I thought it was cheap, but anyway. Because at that time, we said, how do you value a company? And when Nu Skin put that offer on the table, and fortunately, we have other bids as well. In fact, from my former drug company, finally woke up and say, hey, wait a minute, we might have a supplement division. Why don't we just buy Pharmanex? And they also matched the financial valuation. And so it was a fair price, really. And I didn't get any of it, though. So anyway, so that's what we have. We started, in fact, it's a venture-backed company, Pharmanex. Before the acquisition, we raised $38 million to start Pharmanex, and got ourselves into more than 25,000 stores around the country. So that's really what Pharmanex, the genesis was. When we call ourselves a beauty and wellness company, and how we are innovating, is because we are now able to have a good correlation, or really a combination of the world's best skincare products together the world's best nutritional supplements. All right. So fundamentally, what we are saying is no other company is able to achieve this synergy. They're either a skincare company, or they're a nutritional supplement company. It's never those two will ever meet in many of the companies. We are able to bridge that. And that's a unique feature of this company. Whether many of you, obviously, we have launched a lot of skincare products and devices, and many of you have fell in love with them and so on, great. But there is another sort of product category that is entirely compatible with those skincare products. And no other company can actually claim that. So the innovation that I talk about in Nu Skin is, why do we innovate? We don't innovate just because we like to innovate. We innovate because we must innovate to really keep your opportunity fresh. That anybody that comes into Nu Skin has an equal opportunity to be as successful as you, right? Because times change, people's interests change, and so on. And so therefore, we have to keep up to make sure that in Nu Skin, those products are attractive and are able to help you build your organization and business. So, and I'm not just saying that we are innovative. Here are some of the examples. Many of you would remember at the very beginning of Nu Skin, it has been about all of the good, none of the bad. Okay. And then we took it to the next step further and say, how do we help people to know they're really taking a good supplement? Antioxidants, for example. We developed a scanner. Some of you may not know what on earth is Joe talking about, because the scanner is more than 10 years old. right? But if you look at it, we have a breakthrough technology that we developed more than 10 years ago called the biophotonic scanner that can actually measure the antioxidant status in your body non-invasively within a minute. That's a breakthrough. And even today, after more than 10 years of launching that product, nobody has been able to match that technology. So that's an innovation that's meaningful. Many universities, in fact, are using this particular technology to measure nutritional status in the body. And then we brought out the genetic science under the label ageLOC. That was really a wonderful bridge to bring the skincare products together with the nutritional supplements. Now we have a scientific basis and say genes actually control and regulate our body functions, including skin beauty and health. So that ageLOC story, and we have many ageLOC products that have been launched where we use how various ingredients affected or affect the gene expression of the genes in our body. And that translates to really nice clinical benefits on every tissue in the body. And now, it's sort of interesting, frankly. I'm absolutely astounded that we have now become the #1 beauty device system company in the world. Who knew, right? Who knew? We had Galvanic Spa, then we brought out Lumi Spa, and before we know it, we have become #1 company, not just in the direct selling channel, but actually in the whole industry, the skin beauty industry. Thanks to all of you. It's great. And then I'll talk a little bit more about our next wave of innovation, about personalized beauty, skincare, and supplementation. And that will come under this whole umbrella of Empower Me. Okay? Our science, I think seriously, sometimes science can be actually difficult to understand, and sometimes why bother? Because science is one discipline and one approach where you cannot talk about it without actually investing in it. Because it's entirely based on generating evidence or data. And to generate that, you have to conduct studies, and those studies cost money. It requires a very firm commitment from a company to say, we'll invest in that. Because sometimes it turns out to be the answer is something that you don't like. And that is, no, it doesn't work. Out of every 10 projects that we work on, most likely 8 of them will not see the light of day. That's where the investment is. The biophotonic scanner, we invested over $100 million. The Lumi Spa is now over $20 million. So those are not numbers, they're not small numbers. So there is it has to require a company to have that commitment, and that's really all about it. It's a guarantee, as indicated here, the steps that we take, you call it the 6S process. The steps that we take, for all intents and purposes in aggregate, is a guarantee to all of you that our products, the new skin products, will never, ever embarrass you. All of you are out there building your business, doing your business. Invariably, you will be recommending products, right? So when you do that, I'm hoping you have the 100% confidence that we have put our heart and soul to making sure that product is safe and the product is effective. And even if that individual, and we have data to support this, that even if that individual at the end of the day decides not to continue with you on your journey of success, at least the product is not the reason. And that's why they have been time and time again, we have evidence to support that. The products are really something that you all can be, proud of. And here's an example of this ageLOC platform that we have developed. In aggregate, we launched this about, 10 years ago, roughly about that, is now over $10 billion in cumulative revenue. Now, if I'm sitting in your chair, I say, so what? The company made $10 billion. But then again, if you think about it, well, I actually have a piece of or a slice of that pie. You have your 42% payout, right? So you are there. So you have benefited from the success of the ageLog products. And I'm hoping that we will continue that success. I know we will continue the success because many of the products that you see on this particular slide, we have continued to innovate it, and you will hear some of the improvements and some of the breakthroughs that we have incorporated in some of these products. Beauty Focus. I love these products because when we started on this project and starting to talk about it, people say, oh gosh, this is a collagen product. You're just copying something, right? From Modere. Oh, sorry, whatever company. All right. Yeah, there's a collagen product in there and they're making it really good and that's why you're copying. That's not true. When we started on this project more than 3 years ago, the premise or the question we're asking is, can we develop the most complete beauty supplement that provides skin benefits? It's not, can we make a competitive collagen product? That's never the case. It was the previous question that we were asking. And hence why, when you look at this particular product, we try to explain the importance of the other two ingredients, but it gets somewhat submerged or subrogated by the collagen umbrella, right? But those two important ingredients are equally important. For example, what's the point of making new collagen with collagen in this product when you can't protect it? Right? Because after all, you're going to step out into the sunlight and you're going to be exposed to UV rays and so on. And those UV rays will generate free radicals that will attack the collagen and you back to square one, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Because new collagen is going to be equally susceptible to damage as old collagen. So we think it's better once we make the new collagen, let's try and see whether we can protect it. And we found an antioxidant, lutein, that allows us to build a protective shield around the new collagen that's happening in the skin tissue. And you know, there's another tenet in skin health. What does a dermatologist say when you go visit one of these skin docs? They will say, moisturize, moisturize, moisturize. You need to keep the skin hydrated. And that's why we included this new class of ingredients we call the phytoceramides to moisturize the skin. So you get 2 benefits instead of just 1. That's why it's the most complete, clinically proven beauty supplement. And thanks to all of you, you know, Justin have been telling me and the US market, you guys have caught fire with this product. And again, it's so good. It's so wonderful. One of the things that I really sort of have learned over the years is the fact that when the products come out, we know very quickly whether you guys love it or you hate it. You know, I don't get that kind of feedback when I was in the drug industry because it takes too many years and I never see any of the users of the product anyway. So, so, you know, when you hate it, it's not my fault. It's the fault of the 75 scientists sitting over there in the Innovation Center. When you love it, it's all because of my incredible brilliance. Only kidding. Only kidding. Yeah, but science is truly a team sport. You can't play it on your own. And that's why we have those 75 scientists, which no other company has. So quickly, the lutein, you know, we have the scientific data to prove that it actually works. It actually protects the collagen in the skin tissue, you know, and because when we, and that's how, this is incredible, the bridging that I talk about. And we use the biophotonic scanner to scan whether this lutein actually gets into the skin, and it does. And that's how it protects it. Out of so many hundreds and thousands of antioxidants, why do we choose lutein, right? Because it's a very skin-centric antioxidant. The phytoceramides, we're talking about hydration, moisturize. The ceramides is like a sponge. Once you get to the skin, it holds on to the moisture. And that's why all your skin looks healthy. It's because you hang on to the moisture far longer than in dry skin. It's truly another valuable benefit to impart onto the skin. The collagen peptides are okay. All right, since after all, you're just competing with that company M down the road, right? So what's so special about your collagen? Here's the deal. Not all collagens are created equal. Some actually suck because they don't work. And the reason why they don't work is because they can never ever get to the skin. Right? For example, if you take the parent molecule, the whole collagen molecule, and you stuff it down your throat, it will get destroyed by your stomach acid. It will never ever get to the skin. And that's why out of hundreds of different, so we say, okay, we know that. That's a scientific fact. So how are you going to go around that problem? So all we had to do was to go through a special, what we call chemical slicing of the parent molecule. And we slice it and slice it and come up with a whole bunch of collagen peptides, small fragments of the collagen. And we tested each and every one of those fragments to find the one that we finally decide that is good enough to put into the Beauty Focus product. That's why when you see something that's collagen, it's not the same. It's not the same because most of the companies don't even test what they have. They don't even know whether they have collagen in their product. And that's not all. So much to our surprise, this particular collagen peptide that you're now taking and so on, it has a dual action. It can act as a building block to go back to the parent molecule once it arrives at the skin, but it can also stimulate the skin cells in the tissue to start making new collagen. So that's why it's so wonderful to see this collagen peptide working so well in the Beauty Focus product. Now, so we've done all these scientific studies. At the end of the day, does it really matter? Is it just something that scientists do so that they have job security? Right. So we say, okay, will it translate to clinical benefits? It does, because this particular clinical study show us what you see and what you experience right now with Beauty Focus is the fact that these features and these particular attributes have been measured in a controlled clinical study. And it works. It works very well. If you compare the placebo, we call it, the gray bar versus the aquamarine bar, much better in the presence of Beauty Focus. We got a device, LumiSpa. What happens together with it? They synergize together. They work together. It's something that sort of, when we look at it, this is really going to work. The device is good enough. What happens if somebody takes it? Well, we can show after about 4 months, they actually show much better skin attributes and benefits by combining a supplement together with device. We have actually followed up with this particular study that I think you have HLOC Boost. The HLOC Boost, the other little device that we have, will produce the same kind of synergy as well. So it's great. All right. When I started to put this slide together, because I keep on having this question. So here's what, simply put, if I just assume that our Beauty Focus, in spite of the fact that what I've said up to this point, that it doesn't mean much to you, you still think it's a collagen product, all right? is to put this simple table together. It's a proprietary formulation. Most competitive products are really common generic commodity products. You know, it's never clinically proven compared to our cells. And it actually has this blue light and antioxidant protection. Most competitive products don't. And the synergized with device. And the device is available through New Skin and nobody else. And it's pure. That's an important thing. I tend to put it last because purity gives me the confidence that it's also a safe product. Because after all, when we deal with natural ingredients, it has the propensity to have some toxic contaminants. Because not all natural ingredients are pure and safe. A natural, that adjective, should not give you the confidence that it's going to be safe. What happens if I say I develop a snake venom product? It's natural, but your first question would be what? Are you sure it's safe? So you can see how words are being used, and words do matter. So in this case, we have to make sure in the 6S process, and our science guarantees that. All right, Meta. Some of you, I think, are getting some samples of this particular product. We just launched it with over the last few days. And it took 7 years for us to develop this particular product. And I think you're going to like it. Because I think, simply put, when I look at, there's a lot of science that went into this particular product, and that's why it took 7 years. But fundamentally, when I look at all the scientific data and evidence that we have to support this particular product, Meta, it really comes down to the point that I think this is a sort of a recovery product. In fact, it's more than recovery. It actually fortifies your body's resilience. It makes your body more resilient, which therefore translates to whatever condition that you had, weaknesses that you had before. By taking this product, you can bounce back much quicker than without the product. So that's really what Meta is all about. And I think next time when we fully launch it, it will be good. That's our product roadmap or calendar, if you will, over the next 12 months in New Skin. I think you've seen on the left, we have already launched Meta and Beauty Focus. And soon you will see another version of LumiSpa. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know when. It's just something we're working on. And then the second half, we're going to have a whole bunch of other supplements that we are under development. And then you may look at the bottom second half. There's a little round device there. Oh, body spa, somebody said. Yeah, so something we're working on too. Okay, quickly. And this product, the reason why I call it Project X, I did not know, again, some of you have already drank it. I've seen some of the guys outside actually asking me what was that drink that they just finished drinking. And I said, I have no idea what you drank. Did you go over to the bar and bought something? I have no idea. But I think what I found out was we had sent out some sample. It's what we call our microbiome drink. And I can tell you a bit more. It's all about gut health. And I think it's going to work out really well as well. It's really good. So all these products, specific products are coming out. They are going to be coming out under an umbrella that we have labeled it as Empower Me. That's you. Me refers to you. And we are talking about, since we have so many products, and both on the skincare side and supplement side, we want to make sure that you have the most effective and efficient way to choose from them to come out with a personalized regimen. Okay? And to drive this is a digital app, is part of it. is these Vera apps that we'll be launching over the next 12 months or so. It's really our attempt to help you, to support you in any way that we can, to sort of really have a personalized regimen. Because I think we have learned enough over the last 20 years, both from the age-log genetic science, from the antioxidant science and so on, and beauty and so on, to be able to use that database to drive this particular Vera application. So hopefully, as we come through that, this personalized approach to beauty and wellness is something that you would use quite effectively. So thank you, and I'll end with this.